Good evening. We begin with a renewed warning about a dangerous plant. A 4-year-old Kanata boy was left with blisters and rashes after coming into contact with wild parsnip.
The city says in some areas spraying it is ineffective because the flowers are already in bloom, and a warning some of the images in this story might be unsettling to look at.
CTV's Mike ARSALIDES has more on what happened to that boy. Mike.
Good evening, Stefan. Little George Young was out playing with friends near a splash pad this week just off Michael Copeland Drive in Kanata when the youngster says he innocently grabbed a wild parsnip from the ground. His hand now full of blisters from the toxic plant.
Now we're just going to slide this one off.
George Young's hand covered in burning blisters.
I dressed his wound and then I called the city immediately.
Now we're going to go see where he grabbed the weed, bud.
The city dealing with an infestation of wild parsnip.
It's a weed, but it's a really dangerous weed.
The plant, an invasive species native to Europe and Asia, likely brought here by European settlers. It's particularly widespread in South Kanata, surrounding fields, parks, and sidewalks.
I don't remember any other year where it was this bad. I don't want you near them.
The dangerous toxic sap inside the plant spilling onto George's right hand.
Was it pretty? Yeah? What color was it?
Yellow.
When exposed to sunlight, it burns.
My wife is in healthcare, but I'm not, so seeing these giant yellow blisters forming, I was panicked.
On his way to the splash pad with friends, George thought he was playing with a flower.
Which hand did you touch it with?
This one.
Starting on this side, too.
Now George's summer camp is likely going to play it safe, steering clear of the weeds.
And one of the educators had told me that they're probably going to stop doing those excursions just because of the public areas around it. They're just wildly infested and it's just not safe to take the kids out. Is that where you touched it?
Weeds which now can't be removed without spreading their seeds.
We've almost completed the spray program because the plant has gone to flower and to seed, so it's ineffective at this point in time, so we suggest just stay away from the plant.
The parsnip problem was so bad last summer, Councillor Hubley says they had to close this parquet because the parsnips were reaching right up to the kids' sandbox.
The frustrating part for the city and for myself as a councillor is it's not something you can just, spray something on it and it disappears.
The city mentioned to me, well, we do have some signs up, but it's not very helpful, when you have little kids walking along the sidewalk who can't even read the signs yet.
Hubley says the treatment used is mild because the plants are located along the water. Getting rid of wild parsnip takes 3 to 5 years. For now, the city posting signs warning parents and their kids to stay away.
I want my kids and all kids to be able to go outside and not have to worry about them coming home with chemical burns.
The best way to recognize the wild parsnip is by its size, big leaves, and yellow flowers. If you see one creeping onto the sidewalk or at a park, don't touch it and call the city at 311. Katie.
All right, good advice and a speedy recovery for little George there. CTV's Mike ARSALIDES reporting live for us tonight. Thank you, Mike.